Hello viewers, now we are going to start with introduction to amino acids, peptides and proteins. So in this chapter let us see what are the contents. We will begin with the amino acids and its related topics, later peptide and then to protein. So in amino acid chemistry let us see what are the contents, definition, classification, optical activity, peptide bond, and in peptide chemistry definition and physiologically active peptides, and in protein chemistry we'll discuss about definition of proteins, classification, structural organization, denaturation and charge properties. So in all this list of contents we are going to cover only selected topics. So let us begin. So let us begin with the terminology. What is amino acid, later what are proteins, and then what are peptide bonds also. Amino acids, as all of you know, the chemical groups names. In this name itself indicates amino group and acid group. Amino acids are compounds having both amino group and carboxylic acid group. Amino group means in blue underlined you can see along with the bracket NH2, and carboxylic acid group means COH group. Amino acids contains both these groups. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins and also referred as monomeric units of proteins. It is a chain of amino acid. Proteins are polymeric chains of amino acids. Hence, proteins are made up of amino acids. So, protein definitions. Proteins are derived from the word proteus. Proteus means important. Hence, this protein is very important for our biological system. Proteins are polymers of amino acids bonded by peptide bonds. So you can see underlined polymers of amino acids. That means amino acids are linked to each other by a peptide bond in several numbers, and that is going to form a chain, and that chain of amino acids is called as proteins or peptide. If it is short chain of amino acids, then it is peptide. It is a lengthier chain with several amino acids more than 100, then it is called as proteins. So let us see what is peptide bond. Peptide bond is an unrelated covalent linkage formed between two amino acids. Peptide is formed between carboxylic group of first amino acids, that is COH group of first amino acid, and an amino group of next corresponding amino acid. They combine together, amino which is basic in nature and carboxylic group which is acidic in nature. So oppositely group, they are going to attract and form reaction, hence they form a united linkage, covalent linkage, that is called as peptide linkage or peptide bond. Peptide bond is responsible for formation of peptides and proteins. This definition is going to be shown with a depiction or illustration. In this you can see the structure of amino acid. In this amino acid you can see the general representation or general structure of amino acid. The C with COH group and NH2 group which with a R group or a side chain and a H. So alpha carbon is attached to NH2 group. In the left side you can see NH2 underlined in purple color, which is also referred as amino group, and in the red colored underlined COH means carboxylic group. Since amino group and carboxylic acid group is present, this is called as amino acid, and hence it contains both basic amine group and acidic carboxylic group. These acidic carboxylic group can combine with next amino acids which is having a basic group, then they will form a peptide bond or linkage. Amino group, carboxyl group and hydrogen atoms are common to all proteins. Amino acids differ from each other only by their R group, which determines the identity of different amino acids. For example, in this if you see the R group in the general structure below the C, that R will differs from one amino acid to another amino acid. There are several amino acids, and maybe 200 odd number of amino acids are there both proteinaceous and non-proteinaceous amino acids combined together, but only 20 important proteins are highlighted because they are present in proteins, and those 20 amino acids are called as proteinaceous amino acids present in the proteins. For instance, if you see the last paragraph, for instance, R group is H, then it is glycine. That means if the above structure in that R is replaced by H, it will form glycine, and if the R is replaced by CH3, it will form alanine. If it is replaced by CH2H, it will form serine, and if the R is replaced by CH2COH, it will form aspartic acid, or if it is replaced by NH3, it will form lysine. So it's like this, if R is going to change, you will get different types of amino acids. Next is classification of amino acids. The amino acids can be classified on various bases. The 20 primary protein amino acids can be classified on several bases, namely chemical structure basis, or on charge basis, or on nutritional requirement basis. So we are going to cover all these topics of classification. So let us begin with the classification based on chemical structure. Amino acids are classified into 7 structural groups. So based on the structure it is taken for consideration. In that we will come across 7 structural group of amino acids. The first one is aliphatic amino acids with a open chain structure. There is no benzene ring, only open chain structure. In that there are two types: aliphatic amino acids which are having open chain structured compounds, and in that non-branched chain amino acids like glycine and alanine, and branched chain amino acids like valine, leucine and isoleucine. And second one is benzene ring containing amino acids, that is called as aromatic amino acids, where aromatic ring is present. Example: tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine and histidine. Next one is sulfur containing amino acids. In these amino acids sulfur is present, thio group, and they are cysteine and methionine. Hydroxy amino acids, where OH group is present in these amino acids, which are called as serine, threonine, tyrosine. And amino acids with amide group, that is CONH2 group, and example asparagine and glutamine. And sixth one is charged amino acids, which contain or include acidic amino acids and basic amino acids. The based on the charge, that means number of CO minus or NH3 plus, like that, charge which is carried by carboxyl group or amino group, and their number will decide acidic or basicity of the amino acid. Acidic amino acid, example aspartic acid and glutamic acid, as the name of the example itself, in the ending with acid, aspartic acid and glutamic acid. They itself will represent they are acidic amino acid. Lysine and arginine, they are basic amino acid, even histidine also. This is the sixth classification of amino acid based on the structure. And seventh one is amino acid, contain amino group, example proline. This is classification you can see in the beginning based on the chemical structure. Next, this is the structure. If you want to pause the video and see one by one. So first one is aliphatic amino acid. You can see open chain structure in that non-branched and branched. Second one is aromatic amino acid. You can see benzene ring structures are present. And then the third one is hydroxy amino acid. You can observe the presence of OH group. And then acidic amino acids, you can see COH number is more in the amino acid compared to NH2 group. In the acidic amino acids, basic amino acids, you can count the number of NH2 group compared to COH group. NH2 is more in number. And amino acids, amidic amino acids is also shown, and along with sulfur containing amino acid, you can observe the sulfur S is present in the structure, and amino acid you can see heterocyclic structures present in the. So let us see the classification of amino acid based on the charge. This is the second basis on the charge. Amino acids are classified into 3 groups based on the charge on their R group: acidic amino acids, basic amino acids, and neutral amino acids. First one is acidic amino acids. These are having acidic R groups. That means if you see in the bracket and also underlined in the orange color, monoamino dicarboxylic acids. Mono means single amino group, dicarboxylic means di means 2 carboxyl groups, 2 COH group. Mono means one amino, dicarboxy means 2 COH group. So which is more in number? Carboxylic acid is 2 in number. That's why the name dicarboxyl is 2 acid group is there. So hence compared to amino acid group is more, hence it will referred as acidic amino acid. Example, glutamic acid and aspartic acid. The name ending itself is having acid, which represented is acidic amino acid. Basic amino acids are diamino monocarboxylic acid. If you see the purple colored underlined in the name bracket, in that diamino monocarboxylic acid, amino in front of it is diamino and monocarboxylic. So how many amino group is there? 2 amino group is there. And how many carboxyl group? Only one. So which is in highest number? So amino group, hence it is referred as basic amino acid. These are having basic R groups, like example lysine, arginine and histidine. And next one is neutral amino acid. So in the above two you can see one is higher and another one is lesser, either carboxylic or amino group. If both amino and carboxylic group are in equal number, that is called as neutral amino acid. If you see in the bracket, monoamino, monocarboxylic acid. Monoamino means single amino, and monocarbolic carboxylic means single COH group. So one amino, one carboxylic. So both are in equal number. So hence it is referred as neutral amino acid. And example, glycine, alanine and other amino acids. This is classification based on charge. Next one is classification of amino acid based on nutritional requirement. Based on the requirement of the body or present in the nutrition, it is classified based on the nutritional requirement. The amino acids can be classified into two groups. Actually 3 groups are there. The mainly 2 are important and another one is also there, which is called as semi-essential. So the first 2 important is essential amino acid and non-essential amino acid. Out of 20 primary protein amino acids, our body has the ability to synthesize only 10 of them. In the 20, our body can synthesize only 10 amino acids. These amino acids are called as non-essential amino acids or dispensable amino acids. The remaining 10 amino acids among the 20 which cannot be synthesized in the body are called as essential amino acids or indispensable amino acids. They have to be supplied in the diet. Even though our body cannot synthesize, it can be obtained from the plant foods through diet. So now let us see this in detail. The first one is non-essential amino acids, which is also called as dispensable amino acids. Amino acids which can be synthesized in the body, hence it is underlined synthesized. So our body can synthesize means what is the need of taking from outside, that means from the food. Hence it is referred as non-essential and hence not required in the diet are called non-essential amino acids. Example, glycine, alanine, cysteine, tyrosine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, asparagine, glutamine, proline and serine. These are all synthesized in our body, hence they are referred as non-essential amino acids. Essential amino acids, which are also called as indispensable amino acids. Amino acids which are not synthesized in the body, you can see underlined, not synthesized in the body. And since our body cannot synthesize, but still it is required for the body, then we have to depend on plant food, because plants can synthesize even though our body cannot synthesize. Hence plant diet and other diet provide these type of amino acids, hence it is called as essential amino acids, and therefore have to be supplied through the diet are called essential amino acids. This the same paragraph is there, essential amino acid. In that you can see in the examples, methionine, arginine, threonine, tryptophan, valine, isoleucine, leucine, phenylalanine, histidine and lysine. If you want to remember this, Menomix is there, MATTBILPHLY, that means mat. So a space will, a space ply, that means mat will ply. So the first letter of all this left side 10 amino acids, first letter if you take, that will make this Menomix, that is mat will ply. Methionine, arginine, threonine, tryptophan, valine, isoleucine, leucine, phenylalanine, histidine, last ly means lysine. Because two L letter containing amino acids is there, last ly indicates lysine. Next is semi-essential amino acids. Among the essential amino acids, arginine and histidine are called semi-essential amino acids as they are essential in the body in the diet of children, pregnant and lactating women. Semi-essential amino acids are not synthesized in the sufficient quantities. They are synthesized but not in sufficient quantity. For example, if your body requires 100 amino acid, your body can synthesize only 50. Remaining 50 you have to depend for the diet. That means 100 is required. Your body synthesizes less than the required amount, then for the rest of the required amount you have to depend on the diet. Such type of amino acids are called as semi-essential amino acids, and example is arginine and histidine. In the first line you can see arginine and histidine. Next one is classification of the same amino acids based on metabolic status or metabolic fate. During the catabolism of amino acids, the amino groups are removed from amino group to form keto acids, and these carbon chains are further catabolized based on the metabolic fate of the carbon skeleton. That means by taking out the amino group, the what are the remaining rest of the group will remain, that may get converted to glucose or ketone bodies, or both, either glucose or ketone bodies. Based on that, they are called as glucogenic amino acid, ketogenic amino acid, and glucogenic and ketogenic amino acids. So what are glucogenic amino acids? After the removal of amino group, if the carbon skeleton of amino acids can be converted to glucose, the amino acids which can be converted to glucose during metabolic um, amino acid process, then it is such a type of amino acids are called as glucogenic amino acid. Example, glycine, alanine, serine, and cysteine. These amino acids are converted to glucose, hence they are called as glucogenic amino acids. Second one is ketogenic amino acids. By the removal of amino group, if the carbon skeleton of amino acids can be converted to ketone bodies, acetone, acetyl CoA, like that, acetyl CoA or fat, such amino acid is called ketogenic amino acid. Example, leucine is a pure ketogenic amino acid. And there are certain amino acids which comes under third category, is called as glucogenic and ketogenic amino acids. After the removal of amino group, if the carbon skeleton of the amino acid splits into two parts, one of which is converted to glucose and another part is converted to ketone body. Such type of amino acids are called as glucogenic and ketogenic amino acids. That means this is having a dual production of amino acids, means they will produce glucose also and also ketone bodies. Example, tryptophan, tyrosine, phenylalanine, isoleucine, and lysine. So this is about classification of definition along with general structure and classification of amino acids. We'll follow next with peptide and also proteins. Thank you very much.